I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, what's up?
What up?
Welcome back to the Floribama Shore After Show. I am your host, Dani B, and I cannot do this without my beautiful co-host, Hailey.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey girl. So guys, this episode was explosive and heartbreaking, to say the least. We're going to get into all of that drama, but make sure that you stay tuned because we're going to get into some funny tweets, some funny fan tweets, and get into our special segment, Shady Thoughts, okay? So if you want to hear all of the shade, stay tuned. You do not want to miss that. Let's start off with some overall thoughts, though, girl.
It was so extra for me.
Yes.
Like, it really did not need, to be this extra for me.
Yeah, it was more explosive than, I even thought. Even watching the preview last week, Kirk did so much more than I even thought.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm so annoyed with him.
We're going to get into Kirk later on, so stay tuned for all of that drama because that was just too much for me. But first, the episode starts off with Josh's arrival. Now, we all know Josh from previous seasons and how he used to act up. The first season, he slept with Nilsa. He dissed her. Second season, he called her out her name. It was a lot. So this is the third season with Josh. And coming into it, I was like, this man, it's about to be a fight. Because...
Oh, for sure. I thought that was going to happen.
Yes. So I'm, so surprised.
The producers must have been so angry.
I know they're like, okay,
where is the drama?
Okay, Mother Teresa, you came in here all nice, but no one in the house was looking forward to it. But his energy was so good.
Yeah.
And surprisingly so genuine.
Everybody changed how they were dressing to go out like him.
Yeah, and I'm like, first of all, when he walked in and hugged Gus, I didn't expect that because usually it's when the sibling is doesn't like a person, then the other sibling doesn't like a person. I was like, oh.
If my brother is hugging people I don't like, I have a problem.
Me too, girl. Me too. Trust me, in the past, if I not like someone, I made my sisters block them. Wow. I don't play that. No, I don't play that. But, so I know what you're talking about. But Mattie finally meets Josh. She's now finally met, Jeremiah's whole family.
Doesn't he have, other brothers, though?
I'm actually not sure.
And if he does, are they not important? I want to know,
Yeah, or maybe they just don't want to be on TV.
I guess so.
Yeah, but Josh is like, I'm all for it. Where's the camera? But while at the salon, one thing that I wrote down, I was like, Aimee said she would rather Nilsa hook up with Gus because he has better hair.
That was such an ignorant thing to say.
I did
not like that.
Being a best friend, I would be like, don't hook up with either one of them because they're both...
Especially Gus, makes Nilsa look worse when she hooks up with Gus.
Yes, it makes her look so bad. She's doubling back for Gus. And he always is like, oh, that was drunk Gus or,
Horny Gus.
Right, horny Gus. Girl, give your friend some better advice, please. Or give no advice at all. That's all I gotta say. But at the beginning of the episode, or during this episode... Girl, how did you feel about Jeremiah and Josh sharing a room? When Gus said that they share a room
I'm
back at home.
I'm kind of confused. So, Gus has his own room.
Mm-hmm.
And they share a room.
Yes.
Now, I have friends that do this. But my friends are not,
They're, teenagers, right?
Yeah. So, I don't understand. He can afford to have... I think that's really weird.
Yeah, there's an age limit on sharing a room. I wouldn't even share a room with my sister right now.
They're near 30.
Yeah, y'all are too old. And as men, how do you even bring anyone back home or do anything?
But Jeremiah says he hasn't slept with anybody in a long time.
And it just kind of goes.
That makes sense though.
I feel like it goes hand in hand with the homeschooling, very sheltered.
Yeah.
You're sharing a room.
No, nobody does that.
Who does that? What grown man wants to share a room? Whatever.
And he can afford to not I'm assuming.
We're not going to count your money. We're not going to check your pockets. But I'm
assuming you can, especially with Gus being your roommate.
Yes. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Josh wanted to hear Gus's side of the argument between him and Jeremiah, which I was like, okay. That's when I was like, okay, he's really good
I
out
like
here.
him.
Yeah. It made me like him. But then, I always think back to, how he...
Yeah.
how he acted with Nilsa. And but I was just this man did a full
people
360.
grow, you know.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Yeah, a year. That was last summer when he called her.
You know, if I was judged on things I've said,
right,
when I was a couple years younger,
yeah,
I'd be a mess.
Yeah, but he seemed really understanding, and it seemed as though Jeremiah didn't understand why he was understanding.
Yeah, Jeremiah needs to get on his level.
Mm-hmm. And when Josh said, "Oh, Gus, like, you're welcome back in the house," and then Jeremiah says he's not welcome back in our house. Y'all share a room. It's y'all's house, okay?
If my brother ever invited somebody that I uninvited back in the house, there'd be a problem.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, if y'all squashed the beef before and then it's back.
Also, who else wants to live with them? They need a roommate.
Right. And I feel like the beef is only back because Jeremiah feels a certain type of way.
Yeah, he needs to get over that.
Yeah, so it's like, if y'all squashed it, you squashed it. But like, for y'all to squash it and hug it out and have like this
don't talk about it over and over again.
Yeah, so like, what are you mad about now?
I'm tired of hearing about it though. I really
Seriously.
am.
Like, I feel like that took over so much of the season.
Took over my whole life, honestly.
And he's like, oh, let's bring it back. It's just too much. But Jeremiah says that he needs Gus to explain himself, and I'm just like,
well, I don't understand that either.
Yeah, like, what are we explaining? I feel like he explained everything already. But let's get into Josh and Nilsa. Girl. How did you feel about Nilsa and Aimee rehearsing for how she was going to meet up with Josh?
I feel like we've all done this when, like, we know we're going to see the ex. And you're like, you know what? Let me just, like, practice a little bit. Like, put my game face on, and then you see him like, oh, like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like everybody practices any confrontation.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm in the shower, and I'm just thinking, like, if this was to happen, this is what I would say.
Or, like, you had it, and then you're thinking about it, and, like, I should have said that.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Worst feeling ever. I should have said that.
That's the worst feeling.
And even if you rehearse it, like, it doesn't come out.
It never, because you don't know how they're going to react to it.
Oh, my gosh. It's so annoying. But Josh buys Nilsa a rose and asks to speak with her. And I was like, okay, I'm Mr. Krabs memeing in here. What is he going to say? First of all, when he walked up to her, he was like this. I'm like, I know. She's like, okay.
With his, like, flag.
Yeah, but I just didn't expect that at all.
Me neither.
And then he apologized.
I want that from my ex.
Girl, I don't. Stay as far away from me as possible.
I want an apology.
Hailey's ex, she wants an apology. No, okay? And Codi apologizes to Jeremiah for prejudging Josh. Honestly, to me, I was like, is this necessary?
If you're going to apologize, I think you should apologize to the brother.
Yeah, but I'm just like, okay, everyone has something to say. What is the apology for?
I mean, just for, like, I'm sorry, like, I talked bad about your brother.
But did he say that to Jeremiah? Because they never showed him saying it to Jeremiah. He just...
Well, you know what? Maybe, like, Codi's trying to be a good person, I guess. Like, let me just get this off. Maybe, like, get it off his chest.
Me personally, I wouldn't have... Would you have apologized for that? I wouldn't have.
No.
It just, like, didn't seem necessary to me. Yeah. But, that was a lot, but let's get into Codi and Kirk's fight, girl.
Dude, I don't understand.
Oh my gosh, this fight was so explosive. So it starts out when the guys are buying flowers, and no one buys flowers for Candace. I was pissed.
I didn't even realize no one bought her a flower.
I was pissed.
And then, like, Josh bought Nilsa a flower. Yes. The fact, like, it was nice of him to buy her flowers. Mm-hmm. Why are we calling him names for this?
Right. But, like, first of all, Jeremiah, when he was buying flowers for Aimee and, you know, like, the people that are around him, I'm like, okay, so nobody realizes that. I feel like Candace is always, like...
She's always left out.
Left out, forgotten about. Is so sad. Like, I want Candace to have a friend on this show so that she's not always left out.
I really just want them to bring in, like, a black girl.
Please bring in a black girl or something. I'll do it if you pay me enough, okay? Because I need Candace to have a friend. But Gus and Kirk snap, saying that Candace is making Codi look stupid.
Yo, they're fake.
It was a lot.
They're fake friends to her. Who does that?
Yeah. To me, it's like, I can't get a flower.
Yeah.
Like,
or
it's a flower.
It was $10.
Yeah. Or like $15 and a shot. come on.
Like, he's my friend. Everybody else got a flower. Why can't I get a flower?
Exactly. It was just too much for me. And if I was Candace, I would have snapped at that moment. But I feel like Candace was just like...
It was building for her. Mm-hmm. And then, Candace lets things build. I've noticed this. Because when she snaps, she snaps. Mm-hmm. But also, like, why do you feel some type of way about my friendship with somebody?
I agree. And, like, the whole time I'm like, is he just drunk? Like,
oh, he was drunk.
Like, I know that he's drunk, but I'm like, is he just drunk and he doesn't really mean what he's saying? Or, because, Codi was like, when you're drunk, like, your true feelings come out. Do you believe that?
Yeah. To a certain extent, listen, don't drink underage, kids. But I'm saying that I feel like when people are drunk, like, their real feelings come out. That's why, like, I know somebody, he got drunk and he admitted that he was cheating on his girlfriend and her. Midst, like, being drunk.
The tea. Well, I mean, I kind of agree to an extent, but sometimes, like, you can say crazy stuff when you're drunk.
Oh, for sure.
And not mean it. So, if it's me, I don't mean it. I'm just kidding.
I mean every word I say.
Right. But when they get back to the house, Codi sits down and says, I've never felt so embarrassed and belittled in my entire life. And I feel like Kirk took that as a joke. He's like, are you serious? Are you serious? You don't see how he could have felt like that?
Yeah, like, you're calling him names in front of in a bar, and there are cameras around us.
Yes.
You belittled. I'm so angry, guys.
Yeah, girl, spill it.
Like, I can only imagine if my friend did that to me, there would have been a fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Drunk or not, I'm gonna fight you if you do this to me in a bar.
Girl, fighting, okay? Because that was, like, so embarrassing. Like, he called him a bitch so many times, like, I can't even count.
He called him a P-ass bitch.
Like, girl, I'm weak at you saying that. But yes, he did, like, on several occasions. I'm like, what is happening?
And no one called him out for it. That's what...
Like, no one ever said anything to him.
Kirk thinks he's all big and bad, but, like, people let him feel that way, though.
Yeah, I like Kirk because he's usually really chill, but he says the bitch word a lot. Even when it comes to girls, like, he has called girls bitches. And it's just like, okay, so no one is going to say anything to this man.
Yeah.
And then he calls Codi all kinds of bitches. And I'm like, no hands are being thrown? Like, what is happening? No hands are ever thrown with Kirk. Like, what is it? Are y'all scared?
Candace is the only one that will.
It's sad. It really is sad.
Maybe because he's the only black guy in the house. I don't know. Maybe they're scared. I don't get it.
I'm saying we need some melanin in there because not saying that black people just be fighting, but I need somebody to say something
to him.
Like, everyone in the house should have someone that checks
maybe
them.
Like Courtney would. Courtney's a whole different story though.
Oh, she might have because she did get mad last time.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care at all.
Yeah, she doesn't. Maybe we need Courtney back. But
maybe, and I never thought I'd ever say that.
Right, me either. But like, actually, Courtney, just heal, girl.
Yeah,
we're with you in spirit.
You do you right now.
Yes, but Kirk is crazy and over the top. Gus says that Gus comes out with some receipts, and he says that Candace said that Codi puts on for the camera and pretends to like her for the cameras.
That is so jacked up.
What did you think?
If I talk to you off camera, that means it's an off camera conversation and you don't mention it in front of people.
I agree. I'm glad that she owned up to it though, and
yeah.
I kind of see why she thinks that, because remember earlier in the season we were all saying like, this has to be for the cameras. Like, I agreed with her. This is like, it doesn't seem real. And it's not really
jacked up for her to say that.
Yeah, and like, I didn't feel like that was like a bomb drop, you know?
We are on a show. You are making a show for people to watch.
Exactly, and like, that just seemed like something normal for me. And Gus ran up the stairs as if he was coming with like some hard receipts.
Go back to Mattie. Like, no one need...
Exactly.
That just started something that did not need to happen.
But I am shocked and taken aback that Codi called her a bitch.
Oh, I hated that.
So
how are you gonna be all lovey-dovey with me then call me a bitch?
Like,
just
that
because
just
you're
shows.
angry.
Yeah, that just shows that like you really don't care for her that much. If you would call her a bitch just in this situation.
His dad would be very disappointed.
Very disappointed. Mr. Butts, where you at? Okay, because that was
Come get your son.
Please come get him. Well, Gus says at the end of that fight, the police are definitely getting called. And I was looking like,
no, they're not.
First of all, if the police do get called, you and Kirk are the ones to blame because y'all started it. You wanted a reaction. You got a reaction. So when they pull up at the house, make sure you're the one that... answers the door.
Dude,
okay?
Kirk, I want his girlfriend to come. I know, like, the seasons are over, but, like, where's your girl at?
I don't know. Maybe next season, if there's a
Maybe.
next season. But let's get into the Mattie and Jeremiah saga and all of the heartbreak. It was too much for me to handle. So when they are at, Fergie's or Ferg's, Jeremiah is talking to his brother, and he says that Josh asked Jeremiah if he had a conversation with Mattie about not wanting to do long distance. And Jeremiah says that he did have that conversation, and we see later in the playback that he did. But he says, I don't know. When he sits her down, he says, I don't know what you're expecting from me after this beach house. And Mattie broke down. I agreed with Mattie when she said, you could have said all of this to me when we went to lunch. Because they did go to lunch, like, not that long ago. And if, like, you knew that things were getting really clingy and, like, extra intimate, I feel like if you felt like that, you could have reminded her of that conversation.
I feel like I agree with both of them. Like, I see both sides in this. I'm Josh right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did say it, and she is grown up to make her own, like, decisions, and she chose to move forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like, you can't say that to somebody and then be all, like, up in their face.
Yeah. I feel like you can't say that and be all up in their face because they slept together. It seems like they did everything together.
Except, like, have sex.
Right, yeah. Except, no, I mean, like, sleep together, like, party together, do everything. Yeah. But it's just like, maybe you need to throw a little hint out there or a reminder if you feel like things are getting really intense.
Also, I don't like how he told her in a bar. You're going to tell me, look, while we're in public?
Mm-hmm. I feel like he could have had more respect for her.
I feel like that's a coward-like thing to do.
Yeah. It could have been, like, another lunch. Maybe he just don't want to pay for the bill.
Also, like, I feel like guys do that because, you know, they're, like, they feel like you're not going to make a scene if you're with people, so they're going to take you out. But, like, I will make a scene.
Girl, that was facts. You just dropped some facts, okay? I will cause a scene, too. If need be.
If need be.
Maybe not in that.
I'm not trying to be that crazy black girl on the internet.
Right, yeah, me either. But like, maybe not in that instance. I would have just been like, you're a joke, you know, and walked off. But, I mean, sometimes you got to make a scene and let them know, like, you are not playing. Yes. But I felt so bad for Mattie. It was just too much.
I felt really bad for her.
When when she was like to Gus, how did you know? How did you know? I was like, okay, Gus is eating this up just to tap
Dude, Gus, go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
He's been waiting for this to happen, and that's what I don't like. He wanted this to happen.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want Gus to be right, but I knew Gus would be right.
I knew, because Jeremiah finds a way to screw stuff up.
He does. But I see why she didn't, like, really believe Gus like that at the beginning, because it's like, when you see how Gus is with women, it's kind of hard to believe.
You can't talk.
Yeah, it's like, are you really about to tell me about someone and you don't see yourself and how you are with women? But, I don't know. He knew things were heating up, and he still did it. She did not deserve any of that. But Josh says, when they get home, a guy will always lose because a girl will always think that she can win a guy over and beat whatever he says. After he says, like, I don't want a relationship or a long distance.
I disagree with that.
You do?
I disagree with in, like, guys losing. Mm-hmm. Because if you know that she wants to change you and you continue to date her, you're doing that to yourself.
Yeah. Well, I agree with him.
I agree with him as just not guy losing part. I agree with him with everything else. Because I've definitely been that person.
Girl, yeah.
Yeah. Take it back.
I agree with him and disagree with him because I do think that a lot of women have a problem. We all think that we can change a man.
We see the good in them.
Yeah, and we're like, oh yeah, he'll change for me. But
he ain't gonna change.
He's not gonna change. If he doesn't want a relationship, he doesn't want a relationship. If he's trash, he's trash. You know what I mean? Not saying Jeremiah's trash, but like, we can't change a man, and a lot of the time we think that we have magical powers, and we don't.
I just don't think she really, like, realized what he was saying in that moment, probably.
Yeah.
Everything was, like, really new and fresh.
And everything was, like, really rushed. And the conversations, I feel like he kind of confused her as well.
See, this is what I don't get about him.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you start, like, deep conversation with somebody if you know you're not going to be with them in a month?
Right. And it wasn't just physical, it was also like emotional connection there.
Also, the long distance thing I think is like crap. Planes exist. They don't have jobs like that. They can fly.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person.
They don't have 9 to 5s. Like,
right. I think it depends on the person. Like, if you really want to work on something, then like you really want that relationship.
He basically just told her, I don't want to do this for you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he said. Because if you really want the relationship, you will.
You'll find a way to make it work.
You'll find a way. But he clearly didn't want that relationship and just wanted it for the summer.
Because Mattie is like the only person that I feel put up with him.
Yeah, but girl, you cannot change a man. But that is a wrap. But well, that is a wrap for this episode. We're gonna get into some tweets with Miss Hailey. She's got all the news and gossip for us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, these tweets are so funny. Okay. So the first tweet is by Aimee on Rocket. It says, "It's not like Codi went out on his own and bought a dozen roses and a box of chocolates and a diamond ring. It was 3 friendly roses." Dude, that's
Seriously.
how I feel. It was less than $20.
Right, and a shot. Like,
why are you angry?
It was like ghetto fabulous. The shot and the roses. It wasn't that serious. But
the next one is by Braze O Buoy. I think that's how you say it. Mm-hmm. "Why don't y'all have this energy for the toxicity that is Gus and Nilsa, but y'all have the issue with Codi giving Candace flowers? Make that make sense."
Please make it make sense.
I don't get, like, why can't Candace just be happy?
Let me know.
Then the next one is by our very own Mattie. "I'm more upset with myself because I didn't listen to my guy Gus, and I tried."
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was her, I would feel the same way.
I guess so.
But it's kind of like a told you so.
But like
thing.
I told you.
Yeah.
I don't understand her a little bit.
Well, I understand her. She wanted to see the best in him, but everyone told you.
He even told you though.
Yeah, but
that's
like when
my
you're
problem.
in the moment, it's hard to be like.
I guess so. The next one is, "Why Josh and Jeremiah sharing a bedroom though? For real, is y'all doing in there building forts?"
What are y'all doing in there? Confused. Do you have bunk beds
PlayStation?
too? Right. Like, do you have
know.
bunk beds too? What are we doing? We're too old for this. Next.
They are. They're 30. Okay. The next one is by Kirk. "Listen, I'm just looking out for my dog Codi. I'm in the wrong 100% for how I came off and for calling him names, but my intentions were pure, I swear. I don't want my homie looking dumb or going out. Sad." He was definitely drunk, but like, if you call me a pee-ass bitch.
Yeah. You said bitch too many times for me. If I was Codi, I would be like, bye.
And he said he wasn't sorry within, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, Kirk. The next one is, "So Gus can stir the pot and be like, oh, the cops are getting called. Because of you. Let Codi live his life, dude. Why are you so involved?"
Yeah. Make sure you answer the door for the cops because you started it.
And Cody's so nice.
Yeah.
He can buy me flowers. Yeah. I'll accept them.
And a shot.
Legally. So this one is by Nilsa. "Jeremiah. So sorry, Jeremiah, but last summer you told Gus that he shouldn't cuddle and act a certain way towards me if he didn't want something. Hashtag Floribama short, actions speak louder than words." Here's the thing though. Like, you and Gus are doing the exact same thing that happened last summer. But she has a point.
Yeah, she has a point. I think it's the pot calling the kettle black. It's only okay when Jeremiah does it.
Yeah. That was our last tweet. Also, Candace has a skincare line. She just started the company. I have no idea how to say it. It's like, I don't know how to say it at all. It's like, ya ga nix ix. Just like, it's on, the link for it is on her Instagram if you want to go search for it. Yes. It's really cool. She makes it all herself, and her dad, like, packages them up and sends it.
We love a businesswoman.
If you
Shout
want to
out
follow
to you, Candace.
A black-owned business, it's a really cool one.
Yes. Well, let's slide into our special segment, Shady Thoughts, guys. This is my favorite part every show. I really love Shady Thoughts, okay? So, in this segment, we let you guys know the shadiest moment of the episode or who the shadiest thought was this episode. Let's hear it, Miss Hailey.
Mine was like Gus. Mm-hmm. He's always in somebody's business.
I agree.
Even with Nilsa.
Yeah.
He started something that was not his business.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have two. One of them...
We can have more than one?
Girl, okay, I'm coming with all the shade. Okay. So my first one was Mattie calling Josh a rodeo clown, saying that he looked like a rodeo clown because, girl, he really did. When he showed up in those overalls, it was just too much. And the second one was, of course, I think we can both agree.
Yeah.
Kirk just going berserk on Codi, calling him every kind of bitch in the book. It was too much for me.
Can I have a second one then?
Yeah, girl.
Mine is Aimee. Mullet bi is never going to be a thing. I just want to make that clear. Leave that stuff to Beyonce because it was not working.
Right. I'm weak. Leave it to Miss B. But it is now predictions time. What do you predict, girl?
I think we have one more episode, right?
One more episode.
God. I think Nilsa and Jeremiah and Gus are going to have sex. I don't want this to happen.
Think so?
I think so. She was licking ice cream off of his chest.
Ooh, I didn't even peep that. And you know her and Gus, they don't know how to just stop right there. Well, I hope not. I really hope for Nilsa's sake she doesn't go outside
because
like that.
This Gus, like the Gus she's dating, won't like this.
Yeah. But even just that, like, I feel like on a level of, like, you having respect for yourself, I hope...
She's come so far.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't double back and get with Gus. But mine is, being that it is the last night in the house, I really think that Codi and Candace will make up. Even though in the preview, Codi's like, if I never talk to her again, I don't care. Like...
Why is he mad at her? You should be mad at your two boys, honestly.
Yeah. I just think it's stupid, and I think that they will resolve it. I don't see Codi being someone that holds a grudge.
No. The Butts taught him better.
Yes. Let's hope that Mr. Butts comes out in him, okay? But that wraps it up for this episode. Where can they find you, Miss Hailey?
You can find me everywhere at Hailey Matthews.
You guys can find me everywhere at the Danny B. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye
guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.